5, Scene 4. The scene now shifts to Malcolm's side. It is set in the countryside near Burnham Wood. The English army is led by Malcolm, Seward, Macduff and others. Scottish nobles like Ross, Lennox, who have deserted Macbeth, have joined them with their followers. So Malcolm orders that each soldier should cut a branch of the Burnham Wood and carry it in order to camouflage the strength of the rebel forces. It is rumored that Macbeth is losing his soldiers to the enemy camp. He has resolved not to attack the advancing rebel forces but to withstand a siege in his fortified castle at Dunsinane. Macduff, being an experienced soldier, does not believe in the optimism expressed by Malcolm. He says that they should not be overconfident, they should reserve their opinion until the issues are finally settled. How many soldiers have actually deserted from Macbeth's camp is not to be discussed at this time. The actual scene in the battlefield will reveal their numbers. Just now, the forces on Malcolm's side should engage themselves in only military preparations. It is a short scene showing the orderly advance of Malcolm's forces. His firm instructions contrast with Macbeth's confused orders, and the unity of the English and Scottish forces shows the increasing isolation of Macbeth. We are reminded of his confidence of withstanding a siege in Dunsinane itself. So Malcolm shows optimism while Macduff and Seward concentrate on the battle plan rather than speculating on the outcome of the battle. In this scene, a harmonious group including a man and his young son make preparations for the battle. These preparations are done very peacefully. The give and take attitude of their dialogue with Macduff and old Seward gently moderating Malcolm's overconfidence help the audience to understand that Malcolm's side is united. On the other hand, Macbeth has no allies left. There is much confusion and frustration in Macbeth's camp. Macbeth compelled his servant to prepare him for the battle, threatening to hang those that even talk of fear. In Act 4, we should remember that the third apparition assured Macduff that he could never be defeated unless the woods moved against him. Thus the prophecy is being fulfilled now when the green wood seems to move. So we are yet to see that how Macbeth will be killed by a man not born of a woman. Thus in this scene we'll get to see how the riddles will get solved as the inevitable conclusion is approaching. So line wise, Malcolm, cousins, I hope the days are near at hand, that Chambers will be safe. So Malcolm here refers to all his friends and allies right now in the battlefield as cousins, and he says, I hope that the days are near and we shall sleep in our beds without fear of being murdered. So their days are near, that means that their days of prosperity is very near, as they're going, and the days are going to end where they have spent sleepless nights. So there shall be no more fear of getting murdered or any more bloodshed later on. Meant it. We doubt in nothing. So obviously they have no doubts about it. Seward, what wood is this before us? Meant it. The wood of Burnham. So what forest? So the Burnham forest. Malcolm, then let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him, thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery in report of us. So let's cut down branches of these trees and let each soldier hold one branch against him, such that the whole army is camouflaged under and the real number of our troops is concealed, and this shall misguide the enemy's spies who are hovering around us, and a mistaken report will obviously be beneficial. It shall be advantageous for us. Soldiers, it shall be done. Seward, we learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting down before it. So he says that we have received news that there is no other report about the tyrant, about Macbeth, the confident tyrant, that he is still safely, silently sitting in Dunsinane, and he is going to allow us to lay a siege to his castle. Malcolm, it is his main hope. So it is his main hope. From where there is advantage to begin, both more and less have given him the revolt. So more or less every one of us, the greater, the seniors, the juniors, everyone has revolted against him. It seems his own soldiers, his own generals have revolted, and thus these all are giving us an extra advantage, an extra opportunity for us to attack, for us to revolt. And none serve with him but constrained things, whose hearts are absent too. And the people who are still obeying him or serving under him, they are merely doing mechanically, as they are just forced creatures who have been doing so, and there is no touch of sincerity or love or any involvement of heart in it. So Macduff, let our just censures attend the true event. Let our judgment, in order to prove true about what is happening and what is Macbeth planning to, so let us not assume anything from before, and put we on the industrious soldiership, and let us conduct ourselves as industrious soldiership. Instead of imagining things and assuming that what we can be, what the outcome can be, we should give our all in this battle right now, as if we don't know anything, as if there were no rumors and no suspicions. But there's only one thing, that we have to give it our all in this single battle that lies ahead of us. In short, what was going on is that the English army is there, led by Malcolm, Seward, Macduff and others. The Scottish nobles like Ross, Lennox, who have deserted Macbeth, are also there with their followers, joining the English army. The combined forces are on their march towards Dunsinane. Macduff is a veteran and a seasoned soldier. He is not prepared to indulge in shallow optimism as expressed by the inexperienced Malcolm. He is against wasting any time and mildly rebukes Malcolm for indulging in idle conjecture and prophesying and foretelling what might become. They should not be overconfident beforehand. They should reserve their opinion until the issues have been finally decided and it gradually gets unfolded on its own. As it's not wise to guess how many soldiers have actually deserted from Macbeth's camp. They don't have real numbers known. Only the actual result of the fighting in the battlefield will truly reveal their ultimate strength. So, for the present, their only task should be to engage themselves briskly in military preparations only. So, Macduff is therefore revealing himself as a shrewd and clear-headed soldier who is well aware that empty guesses are futile and only military preparedness will help. His outspokenness is quite evident. Seward, the time approaches that will, with due decision, make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. So the time is approaching, and the time is very near when we shall know exactly for certain what we have won and what we have lost. So mere speculations may just express doubtful hopes of victory. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue strokes must arbitrate towards which advance the war. So, but actual fighting has to decide what the final result is to be. To decide this, let our troops advance and march forward and go ahead with the battle. Malcolm has already got a mild rebuke from Macduff for expressing the shallow optimism for an easy victory against Macbeth, as his men are deserting him on the eve of the battle. Here we find Seward supporting Macduff's view that there should be deeds before words. Seward is also sounding a note of warning against unreasonable optimism regarding the final issue of the impending battle. According to him, it is never wise to indulge in surmises and conjectures, as they may lead to false hopes that may not be fulfilled at all. On the battlefield, only the sword can decide the final result. A soldier, true to his principles, should never anticipate a victory before his action prove their real worth in the battlefield. Soldiers must be therefore cautious in their thought as well as in their deed. Seward perhaps recalls, "Security is mortal's chiefest enemy," the words the witches said earlier. It reinforces the anticipation of Macbeth's doom.